Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is a video I've been meaning to do for a long while because I think it could be useful for people who are studying the same languages as me, because today I'd like to talk about the resources I use, and in particular the books I've used over the years to study foreign languages. So I think it's important to have a course book or reference books to help you with learning. I'd like to start over here with Greek. As you can see, I have quite a few books which I've used for Greek. These books are in English, so for English speakers I would definitely recommend this as a reference grammar. Routledge are of course excellent publisher, and this book in particular is useful because it's actually available in Greek as well. So it's actually a translation of a book that was originally written in Greek. Okay, so this is obviously a reference book, but for a course book I obviously would recommend the Asimil books. You'll see that I actually use a lot of Asimil books, and this one I found useful. Obviously it's accompanied with audio, and it's quite old now, but I think it's still one of the best books available for beginners, and it takes people up to a kind of intermediate level. And I'd also say that this book, which is in Italian, is also very good and worth getting. And I know that finally this book is very popular as well, because I know that it's used for Greek courses, and it's accompanied by a book for exercises. Okay, so these are the Indian languages which I speak, and so I've managed to collect quite a few books, mostly in English here, as you can see. So this collection is particularly good because, of course, there's an introductory book to start off with, and for those of you who actually are not looking for a grammar book, this is very useful. As you can see, the text is very clear and easy to read, and I think it's a very good idea. Once you've learnt the script, it's good to have a reader so you can start reading text. And then obviously for the advanced Hindi speakers, this also is part of the series with no transcriptions, and a lot of grammar exercises as well. Okay. There are not many resources available in Spanish, but this one in particular is good for Spanish speakers. It's quite comprehensive, and it's accompanied by an audio CD. I must admit, I mean, this book I've used a lot for teaching Hindi. Obviously it wasn't really necessary for me to use the basic course book to learn, but I've used it to help others, and it also has a audio material, and this series of books in general is very good, and I have also the course in Sanskrit. So this is also a book I would recommend for speakers of Italian. Asimil have published course books for both Sanskrit and for Hindi. Both are extremely good. So I would definitely recommend these, and of course with all the audio material, it also provides a lot of listening resources. Okay, so actually there is only one book that I would recommend for Punjabi, my native language, but again Routledge have come up with a comprehensive grammar for Punjabi. It doesn't have audio material, but it's still very useful, perhaps for people who are already speakers of Punjabi and who want to just deepen their knowledge. I would recommend it. As you can see, the book for Bengali is a lot thicker, but also very, very good. But it's not a book I would recommend for beginners, because I think perhaps this book by the same author would be a bit better. It is accompanied by an audio CD. Might be a better choice for beginners. Okay, and right, so as many of you will be aware, Hindi and Urdu are basically identical languages, although they have a different writing system. So this book could be a useful one for those who actually know the Arabic script and want to study grammar. For beginners, however, I would recommend this course book for Urdu. And it has an audio CD as well. Again, Routledge have also published a grammar book for Urdu. Okay, I do have some resources in German, and there's one final book that I would recommend. Well, it's actually two. They are a series of books, and they deal with the writing system. This first volume deals with Hindi and Sanskrit, and then for other languages, other Indian languages, which is a different writing system, this book in German is also an excellent introduction. So I would recommend that people learn the writing system right at the beginning, because it allows people then to use other books to deepen their knowledge. Okay, so moving on to resources I've used for Latin languages. Up here, these are the books I use for French. And then of course we've got some books here for Portuguese and for Italian. So they include a range of material, including reference grammars, and a series of books which are excellent for grammar because they include grammar exercises, so very, very simple explanations and exercises as well, with all the solutions, which are accompanied in a separate book with all the solutions. Okay, so that's a series of books, of course, with different levels. That's of course the highest level, but of course they start with beginners and go all the way up to C2 level. For people who are actually interested in doing exams, I think it is necessary to have books like these with basically exam practice exercises. So everything that you'll have to do in a real exam, including the audio, of course. So, you know, before actually doing an exam, I would actually make sure that I'm able to perform well in with all the exercises which are available. Again, the Asimil series is excellent. So this is the book I used for Portuguese right at the beginning. This one is actually in Spanish. It's available in French, and I believe it is also available in English as well. But I found it useful when I started to learn Portuguese, because I already spoke Spanish, of course. So that's one of the advantages with Asimil, is that they often publish these books in several languages, and they have all the audio material as well. Okay, so for Italian, as I lived in Italy, it wasn't really necessary for me to use a course book, but this is one of the best reference grammars that I found. This is obviously quite a comprehensive grammar book, but if you're looking for something a little easier perhaps, then this one is an excellent resource as well. Okay, so for Spanish over here, this is an interesting series of books. Okay, this is, of course, the C1, C2 level grammar book. It includes very simple explanations, exercises, and that's the format on every page. So I think a lot of people have said that these books are really, really useful. And again, I would recommend for people interested in actually doing exams, I would recommend this type of book with all the exam preparation exercises and audio as well. Okay, so if you're looking for resources in English, then this is perhaps one of the best reference grammars, and it's accompanied by another book which is there for doing exercises again. Okay, now this is another series of books I've used for a number of languages, and they've only recently been published. They're very useful because they include transcriptions. So if you're not able to read, let's say this is for Urdu, if you're not able to read the Arabic alphabet, then this I think is useful. And the great thing is that the audio is available free online for all of these books. So actually the texts are also available. I think it's nice to have the books, but you actually don't need to buy them because all of this material is available online. But I think they're useful. Again, they're available in several languages. Okay, so moving on to Swedish now. As you can see, a lot of the resources I've used are in German. So this course book, for example, is the older course book that Asimil had for Swedish. And as always, all the dialogues are here in the original language, and then a translation here in German, and then of course notes to accompany this, which deal with grammar, other aspects. And of course this is the newer course book. I have it in French, of course. It goes up to a B2 level, perhaps not quite. I would suggest using other resources to actually get up to B2, but still, for beginners, it would be a good book to use. Again, Routledge have published a comprehensive Swedish grammar, which is, I guess, for more serious learners. But there are lots of resources available in German. For example, this book, for speakers of German, would be an excellent one to go for. Right, Persian, again, the Asimil course. very, very good. This has been updated, so it's a really, really good book for people learning the script as well, because this is all very nicely laid out in the book, as you can see here, with a nice transcription, and it's easy to follow. So I worked through this material at the beginning, and I found it very useful for learning the Arabic script. Okay, now there are a series of books also in German which are excellent. This is a course book, and it really is excellent for vocabulary. It includes transcriptions as well for all the words. And I believe that there are also higher level course books which are going to be published very soon. Like, for example, this one. This is for more advanced speakers. So I look forward to more releases from this publisher as well. For French speakers, again, this would be a useful resource to have, starting with, let's say, a manual, and then again I would recommend having a reader for people who have already reached an intermediate level, because with a book like this it's possible then to start reading real text rather than just dialogues, which are what the beginning material has. Finally, for Persian, and this is for Italian speakers, again these course books which I showed for Indian languages, it is available for Persian as well. Goes from an A1 to B2 level, similar to the course I used for Bengali, but this one goes up to B1 level, and includes transcriptions as well. So very, very good resources to get hold of. Okay, now over here, Romanian. So a lot of the resources I've used for Romanian are actually in Italian. So, for example, I would recommend this book. It's very similar to the books that I showed already for Spanish, because again the layout is very, very easy to follow, with all the grammar reference points on the one hand, and on the other page here all the exercises with solutions, of course. So I definitely recommend that book. And again, once again, Asimil have managed to produce an excellent course book with dialogues, audio, okay, which goes from a beginner's level to B2. There are some resources available in German too. For example, this one. This is a reference grammar, and the same publishers again have published a course book as well for Romanian. So I think those are really good for speakers of German. And I have quite a lot of resources for German, because it's a language I've studied for a long time. There's the Asimil book. Once again, this actually is not for beginners, this level, because for some of the major languages, Asimil have actually published books which go up to an advanced level. So perhaps that would be a good choice for people who already speak German and are wanting to reach a higher level. I do have some resources for Latin too, although I must admit it's not a language that I'm really studying much. But there's a nice series of books here which are actually entirely in Latin. And they include texts, but no translations. And the idea is that we actually learn intuitively with progressively more difficult texts. Okay, so finally, Catalan. Asimil have, of course, produced a nice course book with audio. This is the older one, so this one I have in Spanish, whereas this one is in French, and of course this one I think is also available in Spanish. So I would recommend people who already speak French and Spanish that they go for these books, because of course it's easy to see the differences between the languages, and the notes also deal with that as well. And there's also the dialogues are also quite humorous as well, which makes learning a little bit more entertaining. For people who are more serious about Catalan, I think this is an excellent book. It obviously goes up to a very high level and deals with every aspect of the language: morphology, orthography, syntax, everything. Okay, and of course, once again, Routledge have produced probably the best grammar available in the English language, which is a very, very comprehensive book, but a good resource. Okay, thank you very much. I hope that was useful. Please don't hesitate to send me a message if you have any questions about any of these resources, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.